hey, let's talk about how your fear of looking stupid is holding you back. Okay, maybe not like that. We're going to be talking about how to monetize your homestead. Use what you have to get what you want.
Baby, I can show you a good time. Just promise I can have you for a lifetime. For a lifetime. Yeah. Now I can give you the key. Or you can ride with me, girl. But I guarantee that I will make you mine.
I know you're probably thinking, like, why would I want to monetize my homestead? You weren't thinking that because who wouldn't want to monetize their homestead? If I got paid to live, sign me up, okay? Now, why would someone want to monetize their homestead? Well, number one, because it takes money to make money. And if you're homesteading, if you run a garden, if you have animals, any of that, you know how expensive this stuff can get. So, of course, we want to find all the ways that we can use what we have to bring in money to help offset the costs of maintaining the things that we want and the things that we already have. So take me, for example. When we bought this home and the land that came with it, the first thing I was thinking, especially being in the metro Atlanta area, was how can I utilize this space to make it pay for itself, because that was the goal. Nobody wants to be stuck working 9 to 5 all day, every day, just to maintain a place for you to lay your head at night where you don't even have the time to enjoy what you created because you're too busy working to maintain it. That is not the way anybody wants to live, nor is it the way that I want to live. I need to make sure that I can find any way that I can to make this house pay for itself. And that's exactly what I did. I'm going to explain to you my ways of monetizing the homestead and also suggest some other ways outside of what I do that might work for you. Of course, with any and all advice, you take what applies. Anything that don't, let it fly, okay? So what works for me may not work for you, and what works for you may not work for me. You might think of other things that, you know, are good ideas. And if you do think of ideas of monetizing your homestead that maybe I don't cover, feel free to leave them down in the comment box below. I would love to read them, might add them to mine, who knows? So let's get into it. Of course, when you think of monetizing a homestead, the obvious thing is if you're gardening, you're going to want to sell your produce. Now, check with your local laws, regulations, all of that stuff for your state, county, or whatever, and make sure that you're complying with all regulations. But selling produce, fruits, vegetables, selling live plants like starters at multiple stages of growth for the fruits and vegetables and plants, flowers, trees, all of that stuff. Those are the biggest things that people are buying from these big box stores like Home Depot, Walmart, Lowe's, and different nurseries. People go there for their plants to start off the fruits and vegetables that they may not know how to start or just don't have the time and don't want to wait. So starting off with selling those things that you may not be able to grow fully, if you feel like, well, I don't really have a green thumb, that's perfectly fine. You can start them off and sell them. That's a great way to make money. Another great way of monetizing your homestead would be through animals. So we have chickens on ours, and when it comes to chickens, there's so many ways that you could, again, monetize even just your chickens. There are people who sell eggs. You can also sell baby chicks. You can sell fertilized eggs for hatching, which is completely different than regular eggs for eating. You can sell the meat by selling the actual chicken itself for meat consumption. And it may not sound like a very common idea, but there are people who will pay for manure, aka chicken poop, okay? So when you're cleaning out those chicken coops and you're doing all that shoveling, set it to the side and you can charge people for that. That is great fertilizer for these gardens. So even if you have chickens yourself, outside of monetizing, use that for Bagheera, please. Anyway, use that fertilizer for your gardens. Watch the difference that it makes. Honey. Beekeeping is something that I would love to get into. One of those money makers that I definitely have my eye on the prize. I have not gotten into beekeeping yet, but I will be hopefully getting into that in the near future. But with beekeeping, there's beeswax, there's honey, there are so many things that you can do even with that. I'm not well versed on. If there are any beekeepers that are watching, please let me know some ways, because again, I'm doing my research so that I can get into that myself. Now, once you've reached that stage in your homestead of being able to successfully grow fruits, vegetables, and all types of things, you move into a secondary tier of monetization, and those are your products that you make, crafted products. We're talking jams, jellies, herbs, seasoning blends, and all types of things like that. Just things that you can make with the things that you've grown. So taking what you have, again, and turning it into something else to where you can still monetize that, get it out to people, sell it, advertise it, and still have money coming in. Bagheera, that is rude and disrespectful. Okay. Anyway, one way I did that was we had an abundance of cucumbers last year. The easiest thing to do was to cut them up, put them in some mason jars with seasonings, vinegar, all of that stuff. Seal it up, and you've got you some pickles in about a week and a half. And it just took the pressure off of feeling like I had to eat all of that. It was just so many cucumbers coming in, but having the cucumbers and then having this secondary product where you now have two different things coming from the same plant. So not only is that plant bringing you the cucumbers, but you're also able to take any surplus and turn it into something completely different. Of course, you're free to get creative in whatever ways you want. There's so many different things that you can do, but that was just the easiest one for me.
You awake? Already packed your lunch for school. Time to get up. I don't feel so good. I don't think I can go to school. Besides, school's boring. You sit there for 8 hours. Ooh, wait. Geez, you have a fever. What can I do? I just remembered I got that one book from Naked Essentials the other day. It might have something to help. Medicine? Oh. This might actually have something. Chamomile, ooh. Lavender. Yes, this might actually. Coneflowers are widely used to fight infections, especially the common cold, the flu, and other upper respiratory infections. That's perfect! Now, don't stress. I'll bring you something that will make you feel better. I'll be right back. I wonder what she's gonna bring me. What if it's my favorite peppermint candy? A bag of chips? All I know is that I hope it's not disgusting medicine. Ugh. Just gives me the shivers. Here you go. I have something that might make you feel better. Is this medicine? Girl, just drink it. I'm sorry. This is good. And it's not medicine. It's actually organic herbal tea. Okay, now get ready for school. Yeah, I meant it. Get ready for school. I wish this day could be over. This book is how we learn the best herbs for healing for beginners. To learn more, head to www.nakedessentials.com and get stuff for abundance baskets to books to soaps, and you get the point.
Now, this next group of monetization, I would say, is like a third tier, and it's one that you don't really see very often, or at least I don't think people really think that far into it, but classes and workshops. So, by classes and workshops, I mean teaching different skills like canning, herbalism, wood workshop, gardening, just all types of things. Literally anything that you know how to do on your homestead, you can teach a class for it, and you can make money by charging people for those classes and workshops. Also, if you would like to reach a broader audience, you also have the option of virtual classes where you sit down, you create your videos, you make them, put them together, and you sell them online as a virtual workshop, teaching people how to do these different skills that you have already learned how to do. Now, the advantage of hosting workshops and classes on your homestead is that it allows you to build community, it allows you to get to know the people around you in your area, and it also allows them to get to know you as well. So you become someone that they go to. You become someone that they go to when they need certain things, because now they're aware that you offer these services, you offer these products, and you offer knowledge. Clearly, they're able to see that you know what you're doing, so they're going to return. They're going to come back. They want to be successful like you. They see you as a successful homesteader, and in turn, with you building that community and people getting to know you and your homestead, you can also offer things like petting zoos. You can offer things like homestead tours. There's just so many different ways that you can monetize. And of course, petting zoos is for people who have animals, if you got the space to accommodate for animals. If you are someone who just has a really nice garden area, you can use it as a venue. You can have your space as a venue space for weddings, receptions, just different things like that. There's so many ways to get creative when it comes to monetizing your space. So another way of monetizing your homestead, and this one is currently my personal favorite and one that I have been into heavy lately, is by offering consultation for gardening, helping people who love the lifestyle, love the values of sustainability and homesteading, but might not be sure on how to get started. They might not know what they need to do, how to do it, but they want the benefits of that. And doing things even like bundling those consultations with things like ebooks, planting guides, custom garden layouts, all types of things is what helps people feel like they're getting a little bit more bang for their buck. So they're more likely to pay for it if they feel like, wow, I'm getting all of this that I'm paying for. It's just a really good opportunity for them to learn from you in multiple ways at once, while also you're able to monetize yourself. And things like digital ebooks and planting guides are big right now because digital products are taking over everything in 2025. And so it really doesn't cost too much from you except your time, just a little bit of your time, which I feel like is a great trade-off compared to having inventory for something. Digital products just seem to be the easiest, and right now they're my favorite. They're killing the game right now. So yeah, consultations, just using the things that you know, finding a way that works for you to package the things that you know, and selling it. It's not difficult. It sounds complicated, but I promise you it's really not. But it is a great way to help monetize and bring money coming in on your homestead. So now that I've kind of laid out for you guys what some really good tips are as far as ways to monetize and ways to bring money in, just to give some ideas, now we're going to kind of dive into some tips for success to make sure that not only are you getting the most out of the things that you're doing, but you're also making it something that you can continue for the long haul. So the biggest thing, number one, is going to be to set realistic expectations for yourself and your homestead, okay? Now, this is not a get rich quick scheme. I'm telling you now, you're going to put more money out right in the beginning than what you're going to have bringing in. That's a given. That's just part of this farm life. It is what it is. So I would never want you to go into this thinking, okay, all I got to do is sell some plants and everything's going to go great, because it's not, okay? It's not. And you're going to be highly disappointed, and that's more likely to discourage you from continuing. And we don't want that, because this is a journey. And you have to treat this journey just like you would treat any other plant, okay? You cannot plant a seed and then come back 3 days later and dig it up to see how much it's grown. No, you have to keep doing the work, okay? Over time, you will see the growth over time. That's how that works. Ironic, but relevant. So set expectations that are reasonable for yourself, for your goals, for what you have and where you're looking to go, okay? Make sure you start small. Again, my biggest thing is work with what you have so that you can get to where you want. You do not have to go out and buy the most expensive setup. You do not have to have 20 acres in order for you to get started. I got started with this lifestyle in my apartment, okay? The peak of COVID, in an apartment. There's so many people that are like, oh, I want a garden, I want a homestead, but I live in an apartment. Do it anyway, all right? Do it anyway. Just be realistic with where you are. Be realistic with what you would like to do and what you want to get out of it. Know what you want to do and what you want to get out of it, and just take baby steps. That's it. So number 2, you want to identify and understand what is your lane. You can't do what Joe Schmo next door is doing. That might not be your lane. That's Joe's lane because that's what Joe is good at. You have to find what you like and what you are good at and what sets you apart and what's easiest for you. Create a lane for yourself and you stick to it. Just because Sally Mae over there has sheep and cows, and that might not be for you, okay? That might not be for you. Miss Mary Mack over here might have a whole garden with 20 different types of vegetables and an orchard and all of this. That might not be for you. It might not be for you. You might not be that great of a grower, but let's say, for example, if you get some peppers to do really good, and out of everything that you put in the ground, that's the only thing that really went well, that's your lane, okay? Now, that doesn't mean that you can't learn other things, but stick with that. Start there. Again, start small and work your way up. You got to figure out what kind of fertilizers am I going to be using? Do I want to be an organic farmer, or do I need the assistance of chemical pesticides? There's nothing wrong with that. You just need to find where you want to be, what your lane is. And don't be discouraged when you see other people doing well. Don't be discouraged when you see someone else doing the same thing as you, and you might feel like yours isn't taking off the way theirs is. Don't be discouraged when you grow a lot of things and make products and don't sell anything. It's okay. Like, it's going to come, but you just have to keep going. You have to keep going. Find your lane and stay in your lane, because the moment you start to do this in other people's lane, you're now confusing yourself, okay? You're going to confuse yourself. It's going to create chaos, and it will take you longer to reach your goals than had you just stayed in your lane. So all in all, really what I'm getting down to is just know what you want to do. Have fun. Take your time, okay? Take your time. Be patient. I feel like gardening and homesteading is one of those things where if you have zero patience, you are not going to find this fun. It's not going to be relaxing as everyone says it is. You're going to be stressed and frustrated. It's just going to create more issues for you. So have fun with it. Take it easy. Take it slow. And just get out there and just do it. So I really hope these tips helped you guys out. I hope that it kind of gave you some great ideas for monetizing and making money from your homestead. Now, if you could think of any that I did not touch on, or ones that you could add on to what I said, please feel free to drop them in the comment section below. I would love to hear it, and I will see you guys in the next video.